Hello and welcome to Own Your Greatness. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet, and thank you for being here. This is going to be a super fun conversation about conscious awareness and social media. And what are we all doing and how are we going to be growing? And I definitely look at this as fun. I was a late bloomer to social media. So if you're someone like me who, let's say, has a smaller audience and was a late bloomer and has done a lot of personal work around showing up and figuring things out and niching and all that stuff, which I truly believe never really ends. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my world. My husband and I own Good Karma Sportfishing and educational programs. So we have a bigger audience, let's say, in that business. And we're really proud of that. It's very organic. We've never paid for anything. We've never done any weird algorithm things or follow and follow or anything like that. We've never run ads. Everything is completely organic. And we run a very successful business organically. So it can be done. It can be done. So what I want to share today is the next move I'm going to be making in my business in the mentorship world of energetics and intuitive, metaphysical, all the things I kind of cover, but I really cover it from a relationship standpoint first. And then that filters into health, wealth, your business, your relationship with your spouse or partner, your relationship with others, and especially your relationship to yourself and your relationship with God, divine spirit, the universe, however you want to bucket it. So sometimes I say God, sometimes I say universe, sometimes I say spirit, divine. To me, it's all one big, beautiful energy that I'm super grateful for. So I am going to be really spending more time focusing on my brand new Patreon community called Conscious Convergence. And the reason why is I really love Patreon personally as a consumer. And we also started a Patreon community in Good Karma Sportfishing back in December. That idea came to me and my husband had also been thinking about it. So magic synergy. And we started that community and we started slowly trying to figure it out as kind of like another thing we added into our business, which is already super busy because we actually run fishing charters. We're not just online coaches. We actually have a tangible in-person business with a lot of dynamics. And so we're like, okay, let's add this into our lives. But it's been amazing. It's just an amazing platform in general. And the guys are really getting into it. And so we want to focus more on it on our end and do even a better job of showing up and adding in programs free and paid. And we just added in something called the Leader's Edge, which is like a whole other like idea that came to us that had kind of bubbled up from an app that we started in 2020. So many really cool synergy things like coming together. And I just really believe there are no coincidences, right? Something you maybe tried years ago and you might have been like, oh, this was a failure, really just set you up for something that maybe you're going to come into contact with now. And that's truly how life works. All these little things like add up along the way. And as I always say, you can't go from here to here. Like there's all this stuff in the middle, and that's just a piece of it too. So my journey with YouTube, I'm going to continue to show up on YouTube because I just personally love YouTube. However, I have definitely noticed a change in YouTube. And I'm not the only one. And I'm so grateful for the other people that are speaking up about this and also that are charging now for their content. And that includes tarot card readers, that includes subliminals. We are doing that. And I'm going to be more particular around what I'm sharing on YouTube, still having be valuable content, but also more structure put into the Patreon. So Patreon is a platform that has the ability where you can have things free, you can have things paid, you can do videos, you can do blogs, you can do podcasts. There's just so much potential, different pricing tiers. things that are public access, things where you have to sign up and be part of the community. And it's just a lot of flexibility. So where I'm going with this is when you are building a business, you have to look at like, what is the engine, right? What is the engine? What is actually going to be the thing that is the primary focus that is going to bring in your sales? So for us with Good Karma Sport Fishing, it's always been our website. It has always been our website. And we love the marina we're at. It's amazing. We're so blessed. But the marina doesn't have walk-on traffic for our charters. And we've always known that. And we're so grateful. The fact that my husband and his personality type is at this marina is like so magical and perfect. Like I could write books about this. But anyhow, so we always knew because of that, like we had to find a different engine, because in the Keys, a lot of charter boats, their business, the way their engine runs is because they're at a big marina that gets walk-on traffic, right? Or gets phone calls. They have a booth to book charters, and this marina just doesn't. Totally cool. Again, a perfect fit for my husband and his personality type, and we're so grateful. So we had to think of a different engine, right? So we created a really powerful website that has a lot of moving parts and dynamics that bring in the traffic in the business, right? So YouTube isn't an engine anymore. It's changed. The algorithm, how things can be hot one second, not hot the next, and you can't really figure it out. People are just always chasing their tail now on this platform. So it's gone from being an engine opportunity to being just a wheel. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it being a wheel. A wheel is still super important, right? You need 4 wheels on your car. So when I look at my business and what I'm doing is I see Patreon as an engine for me to really build out a variety of offers, free or things you have to pay for, plus a community offer. And YouTube is a solid wheel, just like I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a solid wheel. Instagram's a solid wheel. Facebook's a solid wheel. I'm on Medium. I just got on Substack. I have a newsletter. So all of these things are just pieces of the car, but you have to really be conscious about what is the engine. And unfortunately, what's going on out there is there's so much content and there's so many coaches trying to sell something that's telling you what it should be. This is what you should do. You should do this. You should reach out and do cold DMs. You should do reels. You should run ads. You should do this. You should do that. You should do that. But you have to follow your own intuitive guidance to see where you're energetically aligned and follow that with consciousness and go, okay, I'm going to take a little bit from here, a little bit from here, a little bit from here, and make my own soup, my own recipe for what feels good for me that I can do and I can commit to over a period of time. And that's the trick. That's literally the trick. I just gave you the recipe, right? So that's going to be my recipe, and I'm super excited about it and took a little bit of time to get there, and that's okay. I think it's super important to give yourself space and time for all of these things and see how they unfold. So again, I was on Patreon last year. Actually, the first Patreon group was, I joined a writers group, and I'm not in that group anymore, but it was good at the time. It suited what I needed. Now I'm in a bunch of other different Patreon communities that I pay for. But I was like, gosh, I really love this platform, and said to my husband, hey, I think this would be good for us. And he was like, I've been thinking about that platform. I just didn't know anything. It just had been coming into his field with intuitive hits, right? So we gave it then time, right? So now it's September. So from December to September, and I was like, this could be good for me too. I would feel safe sharing more content, sharing more of the things that I know have worked for my husband and I, sharing more of our journey versus just openly sharing on YouTube where I don't even know who's watching, because people watch and they don't subscribe. They barely like anymore. Like, it's such a hot mess. Face it, you're probably one of those people. I like every single video because I feel that even if I can't pay that person, I'm paying them with a like, and that's an energetic touch point. And I'm going to be talking about things like this in my Patreon group. So If you don't like a video, it's like, what's wrong with you? What do you have going on? Like, why don't you just like it? Like, really? Really? But even most people just peace out because their ADD kicks in and they're like, 30 seconds in, they're like, oh, I didn't learn something or whatever. I don't like her hair, and they peace out, which is a whole other ball of wax. But anyhow, so I am super excited. I hope that if you are an entrepreneur, if you are someone who has a smaller audience like myself, or you could even say my husband has a smaller audience, however you want to view audience size, doesn't really matter if you're still having a business and things are really good. I mean, there are ginormous creators out there that I can bet you probably don't make that much money on their videos, especially in the sport fishing world. Especially in the sport fishing world. So people get all impressed with these big views on these videos with lots of drone shots, and they're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but what are they selling at the end of the day, right? So don't judge videos or creators based on audience sizes. That does not mean they're running a successful business. Doesn't mean that at all. It's the long game, people. It is the long game. And my husband and I have been in business for going on 13 years. And that doesn't even count all the things we did before we started the sport fishing piece, because my husband had to get his hours to get his fishing license as a captain. So we did all this other stuff before. We sold seafood. Oh gosh, the list is bananas. And then I was in sales for 12 years. Like, I could write whole books about that. So the other thing I'm going to be covering in Patreon is identity. Because that seems to be the hot trend on YouTube. And then I watch some of these videos with curiosity because I'm like, okay, she's like 25. Like, what did she really do? Like, how long has she been in business? Like, how's she talking about this? And I'm fascinated. I'm literally fascinated because my husband and I have literally changed our identity so many times. It is not easy. And it is not easy to pivot within a business. It's actually harder than if you start like with a whole new idea. That's a whole other topic. But those things are going to be things I'm going to be covering in Patreon. We're talking about time. We're talking about space, intuition, spiritual gifts, all the things I've studied over the years, sacred geometry, Kabbalah, religion in general, the metaphysical. I've studied witchcraft. I've studied like all these things. So I have this like big sense of like how it all works together in addition to my own knowing. So my own theories, let's say, my own philosophies, which actually are pretty grounded. Yep, they are. So I'm super excited. I hope you join me. And in the meantime, I hope you got something from this video that can help you on your entrepreneurship journey in terms of social media and following your own intuition and your higher guidance, your higher self and what comes through for you. I'm going to be talking a lot about that in the Patreon as well. And yeah, it's such a crazy world with everything changing so quickly in terms of the platforms and the algorithms and the ads and what people are copying each other and doing. And it's just kind of messy. So if you just continue on your own path with what feels good for you and trust that, and then take the time and space in between to work through that and try some different things and see what fits and what doesn't fit. But in general, think of like, what is the engine for your business? And then what are the supporting parts? And know that that may change over time. And that's okay too. So melindavanfleet.com is my website. The Work Together page has my mentorship options if you feel like working closer together. But in general, then join my Patreon because there'll be community and free and paid things. And there's already some free things in there. I'm just going to be adding to it a lot in the next coming weeks. So anyhow, bye for now. Thanks for watching.